Have you ever paused and asked yourself a question so simple, yet so unsettling it shakes the way you see everything? Here it is. Where does your mind come from? Not just the thoughts you have, or the memories you remember, but the very sense of I am. Most of us are told a story, that consciousness, that vivid awareness inside your head, somehow emerged from matter, from neurons firing in the brain, from molecules interacting in just the right way. That matter came first, and mind was a byproduct, a side effect, like foam on a wave. But what if we've been looking at it completely backwards? Let's start small, with an everyday observation. Imagine waking up in the morning. You feel the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the texture of the sheets beneath your fingers. You hear the birds outside, smell the aroma of coffee brewing. Right there, right now, you are aware of all of it. Where is that awareness coming from? Is it the coffee? Is it the sunlight? Or is it something else, something more fundamental? Think about the last time you saw a beautiful sunset. The colors explode across the sky. You feel a sense of awe, even a little thrill in your chest. Did the sunset create that feeling, or did your mind, your conscious awareness, interpret it and experience it? Could it be that consciousness is not just a product of neurons, but the lens through which all reality is filtered? I want you to imagine something for a moment. Close your eyes and picture a blank canvas. Now imagine painting on it. But here's the twist. The brush and paint exist because the mind exists. The colors, the shapes, the patterns, all flow from your awareness of the canvas. Without consciousness, the canvas is empty in more ways than one. Now let's expand that thought. What if the universe itself, the stars, the planets, the galaxies, all of it is like a canvas? What if matter and energy are expressions of consciousness, not the other way around? This is not just philosophy. When we look at the history of physics, we see hints of something deeply mysterious. Early quantum experiments showed us that particles don't settle into definite states until they are observed. That's right. Before observation, electrons, photons, and other quantum entities exist in a haze of possibilities. They are not fixed. They are potential. And only through interaction, a form of measurement, do they choose a path. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. The very building blocks of matter are not determined until they interact with something that can observe them. And isn't observation itself a form of awareness? Could it be that mind, or consciousness, is not a side effect of matter, but a primary ingredient of reality? Let's try another analogy. Imagine a hologram. A hologram contains a three-dimensional image, but it's encoded in a two-dimensional surface. The image is only realized when light interacts with the holographic plate and projects the structure into space. In a strange way, consciousness might be like that projection, giving form, coherence, and reality to the world we perceive. Without it, matter alone is a fog, unstructured, unexperienced. But how can this be? How can mind exist before matter? We are so used to thinking the other way around that the very idea seems impossible. Yet when we look closely, there are cracks in the story we've been told. Neurobiology shows correlations. Certain neural patterns accompany conscious experience, but correlation is not causation. Patterns in the brain may reflect consciousness, not create it. Your awareness could be fundamental, with the brain acting more like a receiver than a generator. Think of it like a radio. The song you hear is not made by the radio merely translates and projects it. Remove the radio and the song is still there, broadcasting invisibly. Perhaps consciousness is like that song. The universe is the station, and the brain is only a receiver translating the signal into our personal experience. Let's zoom out even further. Consider evolution. If consciousness emerged purely from matter, then at some point simple creatures had no awareness. But the complexity of life, the emergence of meaning, the profound experience of joy, curiosity, or love, these cannot be fully explained by survival advantage alone. They seem to point to something deeper, something intrinsic to reality itself. Perhaps consciousness isn't an accident. Perhaps it's a fundamental aspect of the cosmos, woven into the very fabric of existence. Now imagine walking through a forest. You see the leaves glistening in the morning dew. You feel the cool breeze on your skin. You hear the crunch of twigs beneath your feet. All of this is filtered through your mind. Without consciousness, the forest is just molecules and empty space. Awareness doesn't just interpret reality, it defines what reality is for you. And here's a question to hold in your mind. If mind comes first, if matter emerges from consciousness, then everything we think of as the physical universe is an expression of awareness. Stars, galaxies, even the laws of physics themselves, they are manifestations of a deeper, conscious reality. Now you might ask, if this is true, where does this consciousness come from? Is it personal, like your own mind? Or is it universal, a fundamental field of awareness underlying all of reality? Could it be that everything, from the smallest particle to the vast cosmos, is an expression of this universal consciousness? Think about a single drop of water. It ripples and interacts with the pond, but the pond itself is larger, containing currents, depths, and waves that the single drop cannot create. The same could be true for individual minds. Your consciousness is part of something far larger, a universal awareness that shapes reality itself. Let's test this idea with something even more striking. Imagine the laws of physics themselves. Gravity pulls, light bends, electrons orbit. Are these laws something that exists independently of mind? Or are they expressions of an underlying conscious order? Could it be that what we call laws of nature are really tendencies of the universe to express itself coherently through conscious experience? Now take a deep breath and imagine this. Your mind is not a product of matter. Matter is a product of mind. Your awareness is not a consequence of neurons firing. Neurons exist within consciousness, not the other way around. Your thoughts, your sensations, your memories, they are all windows into a reality far deeper than matter. It sounds like science fiction, yet subtle hints of this idea appear all around us. Quantum strangeness, the unity of mind and body, the way information seems to be as fundamental as energy and matter. These are not anomalies. They are clues pointing to a radical possibility. Mind is primary, matter is secondary. And here's a question that will stay with you long after this video. If mind is fundamental, if consciousness underlies everything, what does that mean for how we live? Every experience, every sensation, every act of creativity or empathy, these are not just biological accidents. They are expressions of the very fabric of reality. We are participants, co-creators, explorers of a universe that is conscious at its core. Let's bring it down to a single vivid image. Imagine staring at the night sky. Countless stars, each shining across vast distances. You feel small, insignificant, awed. But here's the reversal. Perhaps the universe is not simply out there, and you are a tiny observer. Perhaps the universe is conscious, and you are its way of experiencing itself. In that sense, the mind didn't emerge from matter. Matter is the canvas upon which mind paints its experience. As we pick up from our last thought, let's linger on the possibility that mind is primary, that consciousness is not a product of matter, but the ground from which matter itself emerges. Take a moment and imagine what that really means. Close your eyes and picture a blank canvas before a painter ever touches it. Now imagine the paintbrush, the colors, the strokes, all of them arising from the painter's awareness. Without the mind, there is no expression, no image, no experience. The universe might be similar. Matter is not the source. It is the expression. The world as we perceive it is the brushstroke of consciousness. Now consider the strange world of quantum physics, where particles seem to exist in multiple states at once until observed. Electrons do not have a fixed location. Photons do not travel in a single path. And when measurement occurs, the hazy potentialities collapse into a definite outcome. Pause. Think about that. The very building blocks of reality are fluid, undetermined, waiting for something like awareness to give them form. Could consciousness be the mechanism through which possibility becomes reality? If mind is fundamental, perhaps all potentialities are held in a universal awareness, and matter is simply the unfolding of those possibilities into tangible experience. Let's use an analogy. Imagine a field of flowers, each bud representing a potential blossom. Left alone, the buds hover in possibility. Then sunlight touches them, water nourishes them, and each bud blooms. Consciousness is like that sunlight, revealing potential into reality. Matter is the bloom, the visible manifestation, but it only exists because awareness is shining upon it. Now this might feel unsettling. We are so used to thinking of ourselves as little observers, passengers in a universe that is out there. Atoms, galaxies, stars, all independent of us. But what if that view is backwards? What if we are not merely inside the universe, but part of its awareness? What if every star, every atom, every pattern of energy is consciousness expressing itself? Let's go deeper. Consider the brain, the classic icon of materialist thinking. Neurobiology often presents the brain as the generator of mind. Neurons fire, chemicals interact, electrical impulses travel, and from that consciousness arises. But notice something. All of that is description, not explanation. A map is not the territory. Seeing correlations between neurons and experience doesn't prove that matter creates awareness. It might show that the brain is a receiver, a lens, a sophisticated instrument for consciousness to express itself in a physical form. Think of your own senses. Your eyes do not see light. They translate wavelengths into electrical signals. Your ears do not hear sound. They translate pressure waves into vibrations that your brain interprets. Without the mind interpreting the signals, there is no experience. Perhaps the brain works the same way, translating a deeper, universal consciousness into the vivid, personal experience we call I. Now imagine zooming out to the cosmos. Galaxies spiral, stars explode, black holes bend space and time. All of it obeys elegant, astonishingly precise laws. If matter were primary, why would the universe exhibit such harmony? Chaos could reign, randomness could dominate. Yet order, beauty, and coherence permeate every scale. Perhaps that order exists because consciousness underlies reality. Perhaps the universe is aware of itself, and the laws of physics are not arbitrary. They are expressions of a deeper intelligence inherent in the cosmos. Your awareness, the fact that you can marvel at a sunset or wonder about infinity, is part of this ongoing universal expression. Let's pause for a poetic image. Picture a vast ocean. Each wave is a moment of experience, unique and transient. The water itself is consciousness. Waves rise, break, merge, and vanish. Yet the ocean remains vast, deep, and alive. Your mind is a wave, fleeting yet real, but inseparable from the ocean beneath. That ocean is the fundamental awareness from which the universe flows. Consider evolution. Life seems to arise through blind processes, mutation, selection, adaptation, yet consciousness emerges. Not just life, but self-reflective awareness, curiosity, imagination, love. Can material interactions alone account for this leap? Or does the very existence of awareness suggest that it is more fundamental than the matter it inhabits? Perhaps life and mind are expressions of something eternal, something inherent in the universe itself. And now think about creativity, imagination, and insight. When an artist paints, a musician composes, or a mathematician sees a deep truth, where do these inspirations come from? They often feel as though they are received, glimpsed, discovered. Could it be that these insights are the whispers of a universal mind, hinting at its structure, revealing patterns waiting to be known? Let's bring in another everyday image. You close your eyes and imagine a landscape. A mountain rises, a river flows, a tree sways in the wind. This world exists in your mind, yet it feels real, and it can evoke genuine emotions: awe, joy, fear, serenity. If our minds can create entire worlds internally, might the universe itself be a grand creation of mind, a cosmos of awareness, expressing infinite possibilities? Now some may ask, what about the physical laws? Gravity, electromagnetism, quantum rules. Are they independent of consciousness, or are they deeply connected? If mind is primary, these laws might not merely constrain reality, they might be the syntax of a universal awareness, the framework through which consciousness manifests itself consistently. Matter is coherent, because consciousness is coherent. Energy behaves according to patterns, because awareness organizes reality in elegant, lawful ways. Imagine a symphony orchestra. Each musician follows a score, but the music is not in the instruments, it is in the interpretation, the flow, the awareness of the conductor guiding the performance. Matter is the instrument, consciousness is the conductor, and reality in all its grandeur is the music that emerges. And here comes the truly mind-expanding possibility. If consciousness is fundamental, if it underlies matter, then death, time, and space may not be the ultimate barriers we imagine. Our experience may be one expression of a timeless awareness. Perhaps our minds are not confined to the body, but are localized expressions of something far vaster. The universe could be alive with awareness, and our personal consciousness is a temporary local manifestation of that eternal field. Let's take a final, awe-inspiring look at the night sky. Countless stars, billions of galaxies, stretching across unimaginable distances. You feel small, insignificant. But what if it's the opposite? What if the vast cosmos is consciousness expressing itself, and your mind, fleeting as it seems, is one of the ways the universe experiences itself? In that case, awe is not just a personal emotion, it is the universe reflecting upon itself. Wonder is fundamental. Curiosity is cosmic. And now, as we conclude this part of the journey, consider this question, the one that lingers long after the video ends. If mind did not emerge from matter, if consciousness is the root of reality, then what else lies waiting to be discovered in the infinite? Living awareness that underlies everything? What mysteries of existence, of life, of the cosmos are still hidden, ready for curious minds to perceive them? Perhaps the most astonishing thought of all is this: the universe is not something out there, separate from us. It is alive, aware, and we are its eyes, its ears, its heart. Matter flows from mind, just as music flows from a song. And in that reversal, in that subtle shift in perspective, everything we thought we knew about reality begins to shimmer with new possibilities.